Okay, so let's start with a simple question. Um, what is electricity? Mhm. A simple definition, if you have for electricity, what is exactly electricity? Yes, you may go on.
Okay, sir. Well, actually, as we have studied in our previous classes, so electricity is the flow of electrical charge. Yeah, this is the flow of electrical charges, and also electricity is kind of heat.
Kinds of heat. Okay, so yes, let me first write you a definition here because we should move on with the exact definition that you said, then come to this slide. Yes, miss, you may go on if you have anything. Mm-hmm.
Actually, as we studied, the electricity is the movement of presence of electric charge, as Nodojan mentioned, usually carried by a tiny particle called electron.
Uh-huh. Electricity is the flow or current current of electrons. Okay, so electrons move from one place to another place. So here is my question. Yeah, as you define that electricity is the current or the flow of electrons, so how electrons produce light? How electron produces light? See, here we have a what? A lamp. Yeah, but how? Only exactly in this place, in this specific place, in this specific location, it produces what? Light. How? So we say that electricity is the current of electrons, but how inside the lamp the electrons produces what? Light and the energy that makes us to be able to see something. Any idea? Yes, you may go on. Miss Sarah Ibrahim.
Sir, as you mentioned, yeah, the flame resists the flow of electricity, and also it gets very hot. It's over like 2000 centigrade, and when it becomes hot enough, it's glue the produce the light itself by the advantage of the bulb or the device that we put on our welders, and because it's getting hot, because of that, it's produced the light.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is exactly. Thank you so much. You may appreciate Ms. Sarah Ibrahimi. Very nice definition for the electricity. Okay, let me draw the exact definition as Ms. Sarah said here. For example, this is the lamp. We have, let me draw the lamp here. Yeah. Okay, so this is the lamp. Yes, here we have till this point. For example, we have till this point there is no important things, and in this point we have something. Let me draw something here. Okay, now let's check. For example, we have usually two types of electrical power or electrical wire. Okay, one will be connected to this point, and one of those wires will be connected to this point. Okay, for example, if you accept one is as anode and next one as cathode, positive electricity, positive electrons, or negative, okay, negative charge. But here what will happen here in the specific place that we see? What here in this place we see the light, we see the light. So of course that electrons may transfer, for example, from this wire and come inside the lamp and transfer it here. Till this point there will be no problem against what? Against the flow or the current of electricity. And when they come here in this specific point, okay, because these metals and this for example substance, they can exactly guide the electricity, instruct the electricity without any problem. But when it comes here in this point, from point A till point B, and this metal, it is exactly the metal, the iron or the substance that exactly do what? Resist against what? Against the flow of electrons. Okay, so it doesn't let the electrons to move or to flow from this point till this point easily. So that's why electrons are moving with a very high velocity. Okay, the velocity is very high. Electrons are moving with the high velocity. Even sometimes in Persian schools we studied that in one electron, for example, if we consider the element of hydrogen, this is hydrogen element, but if we check the electrons of hydrogen, how fast the electrons of hydrogen is moving, and we found by a formula the electron, the velocity of one electron is 2200 kilometers per second. One electron is moving with this high velocity, 2200 kilometers per second. In 1 second it moves with this high speed. Okay, so now see that if millions of electrons are moving with this speed, and if they suddenly face a very strong resist, this much resist, okay, even the resistance or the wire doesn't let one electrons to move easily from A to B, so they do what? We will face a lot of accident and collide here. Okay, so when electrons collides here in this point, so they produce what? They produce heat. So this heat will be changed to what? The heat will be changed to light. So that's why when we talk about the electricity, especially the electricity which is changing from the current, from the for example kinetic energy. Kinetic means the energy which is moving from one place to another place, from kinetic energy to light energy or to heat energy. This is called what? This one. They make the group or the lamp to be turned on. This is the process of producing the light. Did you understand?
Sorry, sir, can you explain again?
Okay, I will explain again how the electrons produces light. Okay, you may think that there is nothing. Okay, so just here we have one wire here, and next one is here, and one of them is for example we have two types of electricity, so we will talk about that. And we usually have two wires, and those two wires must be connected to the lamp to produce what? Light. Okay, in this position when electrons transfer, for example, from the power station, from the electrical station, and when it comes to the lamp, okay, in the lamp, what will happen inside the lamp? From outside till the inside of the lamp, we have two different types of wire. The first wire, okay, this one, this wire conduct or guide or let the electricity to move to move. Okay, so till this point, from out till this point, but only this wire, the small wire that we are having in front of the at the end of the lamp. Okay, so let me show you in the picture. For example, here from this point that we are having here, this wire doesn't let what the electricity to move from point A. Let me to write with different color to be clear. Okay, from point A till point B, this part of the lamp do what? Resist against the flow of electricity. So when they resist, it means that the electrons will come with a very high level of speed from this point. Okay, from this point, from out of the lamp inside the lamp, and when it comes till this point, they do not have the electricity, do not have any problem. But when they come from this point to from point A to point B, and they cannot move easily, and they do what? They hit each other, and they all come in one point, so they hit each other, and this accident, the sudden and very fast accident, produces what? Produces hit, directly hit in this point, hit. And if you have the experience already right now, but we do not use those types of lamp, and we had a few years ago, we had the lamp that they had somehow red color. They were not producing a very white color, this one light, they were producing somehow red color, and that color, when we were touching the lamp, and we were exactly feeling the heat which was producing by this point. So this is the process that when they produce heat, the heat will be exactly changed to what? Heat will be changed to light. But how this heat is changing to the light, we have a specific discussion in physics that's called spectrum. And that spectrum is very difficult, and no need to discuss about the spectrum right now. But the spectrum, the heat produce the spectrum, and the spectrum change it to the light. But the main purpose of our today's lesson is this one, that this point we have a specific metal, and that metal produces what? Produce resistance against the current of electricity, and this resistance produce heat and produce what? Light inside the electricity. Okay, now see here we have different types of wires. Yes.
Metal produce what?
Produce resist against the current of electricity.
Okay.
Now see that we have, for example, this is a wire. Usually the wires do what? Let the electricity to move. Let the electricity to move from one point to another point. But if what will happen if you connect a plastic here? Does the plastic let the electricity to move or not? Okay, so plastic doesn't have the ability to let the electricity to move. So that's why this electricity do what? Resist against the movement of electricity. So this resistance produce what? Heat, and this heat change it to what? Change it to light. Whatever we see inside the lamp, so the lamp will be produced by what? By the heat. But right now we do not use these types of lamp, and we are using one type of lamp that we have this metal in here, but inside the lamp, why don't they produce what? Fire. Why don't they produce fire? Because inside the lamp we have what? We have some element, chemical element or gas. They do not produce what? Fire. Okay, for example, helium, neon, xenon, radon, they are the gases, and they do not catch fire because they are the chemical elements, and they are the types of elements, and they do not react with the another chemical substance. Okay, so our time is up. So next time inshallah you may join the class on time, and we will continue. I think that this slide and the next slide which we will have next session will be the last part of the first and the introduction chapter. Then we will move on to the next chapter.